friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie Yo 379. That in the neighborhood. My brothers and sisters, happy Thanksgiving to all y'all out there, man. And it feel like just a couple of days ago I had uploaded a video on Halloween, and it's already freaking Thanksgiving, man. Time just freaking flies. I don't know what else to say, but time freaking flies. But I hope y'all doing excelente out there today, and I hope y'all ate good today, you know what I'm saying? I hope y'all spent time with your family and friends and just enjoyed the holiday and all that good stuff right there. And I'm also glad that you came on back to the channel once again to fuck with the bean. And today, we going to one of our closest homeboys on Thanksgiving. And that man is Ryan from Tragedy Tales. Back to our homeboy Ryan, y'all. And the title of the video is Locked In, Bizarre Deaths number 12. Now, I'm still stuck on the last one that we watched for Ryan, y'all. Like, it's most recent video before this one. With the family who was crossing over, like, it was a bridge, right? It was a bridge, y'all. And the bridge was, like, weak. And people was, and it wasn't just that family. Like, it was a whole bunch of people out there. And they was all risking their life crossing over this bridge, crossing over this bridge. And all of them knew at some point this bridge is going to collapse. But they still was taking that chance. And then this one family, I think it was a mama and a daddy and a daughter, they ran across the bridge together, and it collapsed like when they was almost at the end of it. And they all fell to their death. That was really a tragedy tale, man. Like, this dude does an amazing job. If y'all ain't watched that video after we watched this one, please, my brothers and sisters, go back and check that out. But I digress again, man. We gonna go and get into it. But before we get into it, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you might need. Get what you need. We back to Tragedy Tales once again. Y'all got what y'all need? Y'all ready to go? Then let's fucking go.
In the whirlwind of modern life, we often dance on the edge of danger. We board planes that whisk us across the globe at staggering speeds. We operate machinery with bone-crushing power. And for the thrill seekers among us, scale heights with nothing but a slender rope as our lifeline. Yet, it's crucial to remember our fragility in the grand scheme of things. A single misstep, a single moment of recklessness can bring everything to a sudden halt. The reality is, we never truly know when our final day will dawn.
True.
But, hey folks, welcome back to the channel. And this week, once again, we're venturing out into the realm of the Bizarre Death series. A stark reminder of how delicate life can be and all the unexpected ways that it can be snuffed out. This week, we're taking a look at a horrifying ordeal in a sauna to a fatal encounter with a clogged septic tank. This week, we've got the lot. So, without any messing about, let's get right into it.
Get whatever you may need. Number 5.
Now this truly horrifying tale unfolded in the Eden Isles condominiums of North Miami, Florida, on an unassuming day, January the 18th, 2015. That day started like any other for 68-year-old Denis Antiporek and his wife, Ronnie, two high school sweethearts who were on the cusp of celebrating Denis's 69th birthday and their 50th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Now, the couple resided in the Eden Isles condominiums in North Miami, residing in a shared apartment complex. This complex was complete with luxurious amenities like a private pool, a private gym, and a private sauna, all accessible around the clock. Now, on this particular night, Denis had left a note on the whiteboard at around 11 p.m. indicating his plan to visit the sauna downstairs. This message can be seen here.
Oh man, I think that's why the title of the video is, this is why the title of the video is Locked In, y'all. This man finna get locked in this sauna. Oh Lord, here we go.
Visiting the sauna was completely normal for Denis. It was a routine that he followed several times a week to alleviate his neuropathy. As the clock struck 2 a.m., there were still no signs of Denis. His family began to worry. His wife Ronnie and his daughter Lara decided to go downstairs and check on the spa, just to make sure everything was okay. By now, he'd been gone for 3 hours, which was far, far longer than you'd be in the sauna. When they got downstairs, the sauna door was shut and it was still running. By looking at it, it had been running for hours. As they cautiously opened the door, they almost kinda knew what they were gonna see. But even their worst imagination couldn't prepare themselves for what they were about to witness. As they cautiously opened the door, they were met with an unbearable wave of heat and a truly horrifying sight. The sauna was absolutely scorching, and the air was thick with the nauseating smell of burnt and cooked flesh.
Oh.
As the steam cleared from the room, their eyes focused on a figure curled up in the fetal position by the door. The man's skin was seared, with large pieces of flesh adhering to the bench and floor. His skin was completely black, and so at first, Ronnie thought that someone else was in the sauna and that it wasn't her husband. After leaving the sauna, she then noticed that Denis's clothes were hung up. This is when her brain made the connection that it must have been Denis, and that what she was looking at on the floor was what was left of her husband.
Like, this man got burned alive, like in the oven. Like, I ain't even trying to be funny when I make this analogy, y'all, but I'm just trying to get what I'm saying out. Like, you know how if you baking something in the oven and you forget about it and you leave it in there for too long, it turn black because it get burned, and then like the meat will be stuck to the pan when you pull it off. That is basically what happened to him, man. That's a horrible, terrible, tragic way to go out. Rest in peace, bro.
The horrifying reality began to set in. Glancing back at the body on the floor, Denis was now completely unrecognizable. His skin had begun to peel off his muscles, and his muscles had begun to peel off the bone. He had been dead for hours, totally charboiled. As Denis's wife dialed 911, she and Lara were left with the haunting image of Denis's charred remains. They couldn't understand why Denis hadn't left the sauna when it had become unbearably hot. Speculations arose that he might have possibly fallen asleep. However, the presence of skin and flesh on the bench and the floor suggested that he had tried to move after being cooked, but he was already fused to the bench. His skin was described looking like beef jerky and hard to the touch. News teams questioned the condo's management, but of course they refused to answer anything. They just put a sign on the sauna and closed it. Soon after, an investigation was started, and it revealed that the sauna's timer had failed. Not only had the timer failed, however, the sauna's heating coils had also malfunctioned, causing the temperature to soar to deadly levels. An autopsy confirmed that Denis had suffered a heart attack. The coroner said this was likely induced by the extreme heat. Their lawyer said that we believe the heart attack was heat-induced. The heating coils on the sauna are required to have a thermostat, and the timer should have worked. Under no circumstances whatsoever should the heat have gotten to a level where he literally cooked. Their attorney, Joseph Madelon, said that Dennis was a regular user of the sauna, so his body was used to it. But what a total tragedy. As soon as this was found out, the family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Condo Association and Elite Management Associated Incorporated, the company who was responsible for maintaining the sauna.
Yeah, I feel like the company or whoever who maintaining the sauna, they at fault with this one. I feel like they at fault. Because, man, just the fact, okay, if you stay in the sauna long enough, I don't really know about saunas, but I do believe you will die. But not in the way he died, y'all. Like, this man, like, he got burned to death because it got too hot in there. So whoever was maintaining it, they didn't take care of it good enough. So it is their fault, man. I hate this happened. It's an unfortunate circumstance, you know what I'm saying? But y'all, I hope some consequences finna come down to those people. I don't know, but let's go.
After doing a bit of research, the outcome of the lawsuit remains unknown, suggesting that a private settlement may have been reached. Dennis's wife told CBS Miami, "I close my eyes and I see his face charred. And I know this sounds horrible, but there was skin on the floor and the bench, and we shouldn't have had to see that." She added that she and her daughter cannot get the image of the burned body out of their heads. Dennis's daughter, Lara, said after the event that she didn't want to eat. Every time she smells cooked meat, it brings her instantly back to the sauna. This tragic incident serves as a stark reminder of the brutal dangers of malfunctioning equipment and the devastating consequences that it can have.
True. Yeah, man, like, and somebody got to be at fault because of those malfunctions. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to be at fault. Whoever it is who put the damn sauna in there need to face something. And I'm kind of upset that we didn't find out what really happened at the end. Maybe they got an undisclosed settlement or whatever, hopefully. But I don't know. But one thing I will also say is I know that shit is tough on that lady, his wife, the widow, because they had been together for 50 years married. You know what I'm saying? They coming up to the sunset of their life or the end of their life, whatever. You know, they probably still had another good 20 years plus, hopefully. But you know what I'm saying? They had the latter part of their life, been together all this time, and that is so rare for a couple to be together for 50 freaking years, and that's how he ended up going out. Man, that lady life on Earth, I know it's gonna never be the same again. But let's go to number 4. Number 4.
Come on, let's be honest. All of us have been involved in a harmless prank at some point. But It's super important to remember that even the most innocent of jokes can have the most tragic consequences. As you've all seen on this channel, death can come from the most unexpected places. This story unfolds on the 3rd of September 2018. Within the bustling confines of a metal factory in Kolhapur, Maharashtra, India. That day started like any other for the factory workers, including 18-year-old Aditya Jahav, who we've highlighted in red on the CCTV footage. The video shows Aditya and his supervisor, Mr. Wagmore, engaging in what initially appears to be harmless banter. However, things take a dark turn when Mr. Wagmore picks up an industrial compressed air gun, used when working with steel. All captured on CCTV, you can see Aditya's superior, Mr. Wagmore, picking up the industrial compressed air gun before playfully directing the air gun at Aditya's back and hair. But then, for no reason whatsoever, he suddenly inserted the nozzle of the compressed air gun into a ripped hole in Aditya's trousers. Without much thought, he pulled the trigger. The immediate aftermath was just horrifying. Aditya collapses, clearly in agonizing pain, while the factory continues their operations all around him. Nobody even noticed that something had gone wrong. It's only when Aditya's on the ground that the gravity of Mr. Wagmore's actions seemed to dawn on him.
I mean, bro, I'm not gonna even be funny, y'all. I don't know what happened to him by him spraying that out in his trousers, in his pants. Like, what happened? I don't even want to say nothing because I might sound dumb as fuck. But I know that he is in trouble. He is hurt. But what did that actually do? Ryan finna educate me now. Let's go.
Aditya was rushed to hospital with severe internal injuries. Medical scans revealed a rectal blowout, a phrase that I've not even heard before now. The scans showed that his intestines had literally burst due to the high pressure air. His entire lower bowels were destroyed, causing massive internal bleeding. The doctors likened his injuries to those typically seen on battlefields, people who have stood on a landmine, for example. To put the damage into perspective, the airflow from an air compressor is about 100 times greater than what is considered safe during a colonoscopy. The damage that it caused was catastrophic to say the least. Aditya underwent emergency surgery to remove his bowel, and they found fecal matter all over the rest of its organs. Despite the medical team's best efforts, Aditya succumbed to his injuries 15 days later, on September the 18th.
Wow.
Following his tragic death, the Shipoi police launched an investigation. After reviewing the CCTV footage, it was clear who needed to be arrested. However,
yeah, and especially him, y'all. Like, dude, you the manager. Like, bro, if anybody should know that you doing this is some dangerous shit, it should be you. Man, I didn't know, y'all. I didn't know what really that meant. This man basically got his... Cause see, y'all don't be trying to be funny, man. Y'all know I don't be trying to be funny, man. I'm not going... Man, this man basically got his inside blowed out. Like, literally, that's what happened. Like, damn, like, he got his inside blowed out. Like, the air just blowing through your intestines. Like, it was so much pressure and so much speed and so much whatever, PSI. Like, it fucked his organs up and his whole bowel movements and everything. That is crazy, y'all. See, that's why you can't play some of these pranks out here. Too dangerous, man.
However, when they went to find the man, he had completely disappeared. Mr. Wagmore had vanished. By looking online, I can't find any record of his arrest, so maybe he got away with it. Who knows? It's particularly shocking that a supervisor, who shouldn't have definitely known better, was the one responsible.
Exactly.
Sadly, there's no information available about any compensation awarded to his family. It seems that they were left to deal with their loss without any form of justice or compensation. But this tragic tale is a stark reminder of the potential dangers lurking in our everyday workplace. While it obviously is a compressed air gun, nothing good's gonna happen. I don't know, I didn't think he would actually die. Not sure. But, as always, I'm interested in your thoughts below.
Man, like he said, bro, and I already had said it before Ryan just said it, bro. The fact that you a supervisor doing this, like, come on, man. And it's so sad. It's the most tragic thing is the dude probably got away with it. He should at least get manslaughter for that. You know what I'm saying? He should do some time for that, bro. He literally caused that man to lose his life. Like, literally, it was him, point blank, period. Whether he did it intentionally or not, I don't think he was trying to kill him. Just, you know what I'm saying? I don't think he was, but you never know with crazy motherfuckers. But I don't think he was, though, in this case. But he still should, hey, you did the crime, you gotta do some time. Let's go. Number 3.
This, frankly, bizarre accident is one that I'm sure we've all had nightmares about. But you never actually think it's going to happen to you. This entry unfolded in Port Arthur, Texas, on the 8th of June, 2015. That fine Monday morning was bright and sunny, the perfect day to visit a local Waffle House. This is exactly what 72-year-old James Roger thought as he hopped into his 2007 Chevy Corvette, along with his small dog Leia. James was a Corvette mega fan. He'd always dreamed of owning one, but he'd never been able to get his hands on one until he retired. He was described as a loving, kind man, and a grandfather to 5 kids. Sadly, he had no idea that this infatuation with Corvettes would be the end of him.
Damn.
That fateful morning, it was the middle of summer, the sun was pounding down from above, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky. At approximately 8 a.m., James decided that he'd make a quick stop by his local Waffle House. After he decided on this, he parked his Corvette in the Waffle House car park, locking his dog Leia in the car before going in and tucking in on some waffles and drinking some coffee. At 11:55, almost 3 hours later, James could be seen leaving the Waffle House on CCTV to check on his dog in the car. After getting in the car and confirming Leia was okay, James attempted to get out. This is when the horror begins. As James went to press on the electric door release, nothing happened. The car suddenly lost all of its power and absolutely nothing worked. It's believed that a cable had become loose in the battery, causing it to become disconnected. Now you think, no problem, I'll just open the door handle, right?
Yeah.
Well, wrong. You see, the 2007 Corvette is one of the only cars in existence without physical door handles. Back then, they thought they were being really smart, they're going to make everything electronic, so they removed the door handles and changed it to an electronic button.
Oh, hell no. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? And it's supposed to be a Corvette. It's supposed to be a top of the line car. And they making dumbass decisions like that? Oh my God, bro. Why would they think that was a great idea not to have physical door handles? You never know, man. Like, I don't know. That is very questionable for Corvette and the owners of the company, whatever, the company Corvette, whatever. That's very questionable for them to design a car like that. I get they trying to be futuristic and all cool and this and that, but you gotta be practical too. Wow.
While this is fancy, unfortunately, when the battery dies on these types of cars, nothing works. The entire thing locks up, including the function of the doors, sealing the user inside. This is something that has happened to other people, and it's somewhat notorious for locking people in their cars.
Oh, listen, they gotta bust me out of here, bro. I don't know what's going on in my car. The whole thing went dead. I got the fire department out here right now trying to get me out. My car, they sitting here trying to jump it. It's not working. I'm claustrophobic. Oh my God.
The first thing James would have done is reach for his phone, and then he would have realized that he'd left it on charge inside the Waffle House. So you think, okay, well, I'll just hit the horn. Well, the loose battery cable meant that even if he had honked the horn, no one would have been able to hear him. So James tried desperately to pry the door open, and it was well and truly stuck. Every movement in the car produced more heat, slowly bringing up the temperature. James tried to get leverage by laying in the car and pushing with his feet on the window, but it wouldn't budge. It was so solid. There was not enough leverage in the car. It's a fairly smallish car. There was just no room to budge. I can only imagine the total panic once he realized that the temperature was rising and there wasn't a way out. The heat index that day reached temperatures of 98 Fahrenheit, or around 36 degrees Celsius. So extremely hot to be trapped in a car. At this point, James must have realized that there must be a manual door release. So he reached into the glove box and attempted to go through the manual to find the door release. As he flicked through the manual, it's clear that he couldn't find it. The temperature continued to rise as James must have screamed in agony. There must have been people walking by, people in the Waffle House, and he's trapped and no one is helping him. No one can hear him. It's just awful. Horrifyingly, 4 hours later, James was discovered in his car, and this was the call received to 911.
911, where's the emergency?
My friend is here in his car bed. We're beating on the windows and we can't get him up. And the car is locked. Jimmy, come on, man, wake up.
Even the first responders struggled to open the car, and they were forced to smash open the windows to reach him. The inside of the car was seriously hot. Sadly, James and Leia were pronounced dead on the scene. They'd both succumbed to heat exhaustion hours ago. James was found on the driver's seat with the car manual still open on his lap, with his dog Leia dead in the passenger seat. Inspecting the car, there was damage and scratch marks on the window and the glass, and there were muddy footprints all over the car where you could see that James had made a serious attempt to escape, but ultimately failed. Now this is when the story gets just even worse. The manual door release was situated right beside his left foot. James could have escaped and saved both of their lives within seconds.
Oh, shit. Damn, man. That make it a million times worse, even though it's already as worse as it can be. And I was talking about Corvette, y'all, and I was like, that is real funny. Like, why they ain't got no way where you can get out? So they did have a way, and he just ain't know about it. And it was right by his feet. Man, this one of the ones where I just be like, man, when it's your time to go, I guess it's just your time to go.
By just pulling on the lever. Now this door release is something that most Corvette owners don't even know exist, and of course this has caused problems before. It is in the manual, however, but obviously James couldn't find the page. But seriously, this story is just horrible. I can't even imagine what was going through his mind within that car, knowing that there's people that could have saved you all around, but you're basically invisible. James Rogers' daughter, Trisha Hernandez, said it's heartbreaking that his dream car ended up taking his life, adding that he fought valiantly to escape, but he simply couldn't. In May of 2016, James's son and daughter filed a wrongful death lawsuit against General Motors. The lawsuit stated that there was a defect in the electric locking system, claiming that Corvette builds their cars in a defective manner. The family accused Corvette of not making it clear enough that there was a manual override to get out should the battery die. They were seeking damages for pain and suffering and other compensation. Sadly, however, I can't find much information on the result of this lawsuit online, but I assume it didn't get very far because, as per the Corvette owner's manual on screen, that the owner, to be fair, is responsible for reading, it states very clearly that there are multiple escape latches located on both sides of the car. It even featured a picture. These latches would have not even been covered if the seats were all the way forward, so it's unsure how he did not notice them. It's just sad to think that his dream car was the direct cause of his death. And it's bloody tragic, considering he could have survived by pulling a simple handle. But honestly, in my opinion, the car shouldn't have been made with electronic door handles. Just saying it out loud just sounds ridiculous. And obviously I know there was the pull cord, but as I said, other people have become stuck as well. But luckily they were able to get out or pry the window down and escape. But James was obviously not that lucky. And in this case, it cost him and his dog their lives. As always, I'm interested in all your thoughts below.
Man, even though, man, they have latches and, manual latches that you can pull if the car run out of battery and you can't get out through the electric doors. Fuck them electric doors. Can we put some handles back on the doors, please? Can we do that? Can we go back to when life was simple before y'all try to get all futuristic and ish? Now, this was a 2007 Corvette, so I hope that a 2024 Corvette got fucking handles on the damn doors, man. I don't feel like we close to that time, y'all, where we can do all that. When we ain't got handles on doors no more, that's when we flying through the air. You know what I'm saying? That's when we like the Jetsons or some shit. We ain't at the Jetsons yet, man. So put the fucking handles back on the doors. And rest in peace to him, man, because all us has been here before, my brothers and sisters. All of us has been here before. Just follow me real quick. We have all sat in a hot ass car with the windows up. And we know how quick you start to feel like you running out of air, and like you just get hot, you start sweating, and you start to feel like you can't breathe. We all know what that feel like. But he had to go through it to the point where he died, man. That's so sad, man. And he died with his dog too. His dog had to go through, like, rest in peace to the dog too. You know what I'm saying, man? Golly, bro, that was a horrible way to go out. Oh man, Ryan got me on this one, y'all. But we still got 2 more to go. So let's go. Number 2.
Egypt, a country known for its affordability and awe-inspiring sights, has often been a magnet for tourists. However, its somewhat lax safety regulations have raised concerns in the past, and this case is a perfect example. On August the 12th, 2018, a couple from Burnley, Lancashire, 69-year-old John and 63-year-old Susan Cooper, embarked on a family holiday to the Steigenberger Aqua Magic Hotel in Hurghada, a popular Red Sea resort in Egypt. Along with them, they brought their children, friends, and their grandkids, one of which was their 12-year-old granddaughter, Molly, who was sharing a hotel room with them on the ground floor. Upon arriving to their rooms, they were greeted by an odd smell, reminiscent of mold or dampness. But they didn't think anything of it and unloaded their things and got on with their holiday. However, 8 days into their vacation, on August the 20th, John and Susan enjoyed an evening at the hotel restaurant and bar with their friends and family before retiring to the room for the night. But after a few hours of sleep, in the early hours of August the 21st, John called Molly's mother, saying that she wasn't feeling very well and that he was going to escort her upstairs to her mother's room. After Molly got to her mother's room, she went to bed and thought nothing of it. The following morning, the family noticed that John and Susan had not turned up for breakfast, as they did on every other day of the holiday. They tried calling them, but they didn't answer. Concerned for their well-being, their daughter, Kelly, went to check on the ground floor room.
That mold and mildew that was in that room ended up killing them, like it was some type of toxic gas or something. Man, you can die from damn anything in this world, man. Jesus.
Knocked on the door, and upon knocking, a pale-faced John answered the door. John was retching and complaining of feeling very unwell. Susan, his wife, was laying in bed, groaning, with vomit all in her hair, and there was vomit all around the room. It was then that Kelly noticed that the room was filled with a strange, heavy smell. Upon looking at John's eyes, they were white, a sort of glazed over, and so were Susan's. They looked an absolute state. Medical help was immediately sought, but the situation quickly escalated. John began to lose consciousness, and despite attempts at resuscitation, he was declared dead in the hotel room.
Damn.
Susan, his wife, who was exhibiting similar symptoms, was rushed to hospital, but sadly she too passed away later that afternoon. At first, Egypt officials claimed their deaths were attributed to E. coli, a type of bacteria that can rarely lead to kidney failure and death. However, later, their deaths were attributed to exposure to chemicals. But what chemicals? At this time, they weren't sure. The family was left devastated. Their holiday will now forever be marred by an inexplicable tragedy. An inquest into their deaths revealed a heartbreaking series of events. On the afternoon of August the 20th, as the family were enjoying their time downstairs in the bar, the hotel had received a complaint about bed bugs in a room on the ground floor. This room was directly connected to John and Susan's room, connected by an adjoining door. In response to this complaint, the housekeeping staff had deployed a pesticide called Lambda. After they laid it down, they placed tape around both sides of the adjoining door and thought that this would be fine. Of course, it wasn't, and it caused both of them to die. Apparently, in less developed countries, the Lambda pesticide is often diluted with dichloromethane, a chemical that produces carbon monoxide when it evaporates. This deadly gas then binds to the hemoglobin in the blood, preventing oxygen from being transported around the body, suffocating you from the inside out. The pesticide that they'd laid down created enough vapor to seep under the adjoining door, poisoning John and Susan as they slept. Absolutely horrific.
Yeah, man, that's horrific as fuck. Like, I didn't know that that's what exactly killed them, carbon monoxide. Like, I already knew that shit can kill you. But just the circumstances of it and how it happened. You know what I'm saying? Just the way the events played out in order for them to reach their demise by that is just, like I said, man, it just feel like when it's your time to go, I guess it's just your time to go.
Their lawyer is now working tirelessly to prevent such tragedies from occurring. After a 3-day inquest in November of 2023, the family issued a statement outside the coroner's court, vowing to remember John and Susan and to continue the fight for justice. The bereaved family members said outside court that our family still struggles to comprehend what we went through that day and feel like it never should have happened. The last few years have been the most traumatic for all of us. Having to relive everything at the inquest has been truly harrowing, but it was something that we had to do for Mum and Dad. Our family is broken without them. Now this is got to be one of the worst ways to go imaginable. The pair were up all night being sick and retching as they were inhaling poisonous chemicals that were suffocating them. Then to be discovered by a family member who had to witness the whole thing, it just doesn't bear thinking about. I hope their family gets some kind of justice for this. The pesticide was diluted. The owners did not alert the guests that pesticide had been laid down whatsoever, and they only sealed the deadly chemicals away with masking tape. It wasn't even duct tape. It screams carelessness for me. But as far as I can see, it's still being investigated, and as you guys know, I'm interested in your thoughts below.
Man, my thoughts on that one is, first of all, that's another case of like an elderly couple, man. You know what I'm saying? They in the twilight of their lives, you know what I'm saying? And they got all these kids and they got grandkids, and you know what I'm saying? Now they grandpa and grandma gone. They mama and daddy gone. Like, that's just tragic already for both of them to be gone like that. And for people who don't know how carbon monoxide is, because I know you may think, why didn't they just run out the room? Why didn't they not know what was going on? Man, with carbon monoxide, you can be inhaling that shit and don't know it at all, y'all. Like, you might smell something a little funny, but if you stay in it long enough, you'll get used to it just like any other smell, you know what I'm saying? You stay around it long enough, well, most any other smells. You stay around it long enough, you might not even smell it no more, but somebody else will walk in the room and they'll be like, damn, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? And the carbon monoxide the same way, man, and they were just inhaling that damn poison and didn't know it. Rest in peace to them. And let's go to the last one. Number 1.
On the morning of May the 13th, 2017, the sun rose over Nanshan village near Chaozhou, South China, casting a warm glow over the Wang family farm. Now, for a bit of background, the Wangs were a hard-working family that spanned multiple generations. On the farm, they had pigs and cattle, and apparently they were one of the biggest producers in their area. On that warm May day, the family woke up and started doing their usual chores, unaware of what nightmare was about to unfold. At approximately 10 a.m, Mr. Wang, the head of the family, who sadly we've got no photos of, started his daily chores. Now, one of these tasks involved emptying the pig waste into the outdoor septic tank, a routine that he'd performed countless times. However, this day it was different. As Wang emptied the muck into the tank, he noticed that something was unusual. The tank was clogged, and the waste was beginning to overflow. In a decision that would later prove to be disastrous, Mr. Wang asked his 16-year-old daughter to jump in and unclog the tank.
Oh, hell to the no. I'm not jumping into no shit. I don't care if you're my dad and my mama, nobody. Like, he shouldn't even be telling her to do that. Then it sound unsafe too. Let me stop being funny, man. For real, man. This is no, bro. Oh, man, this is finna be a tragedy tale.
Now, this is something that I would never do. Of course, I'm not going to get in a septic tank. But in this story, she did. She jumped in and braved the unbearable stench and the fumes emanating from the untreated sewage. However, the toxic fumes were so potent that as she inhaled them, it caused her to faint, falling face first into the muck. Witnessing the entire thing, Mr. Wang and his wife watched in horror. This is when their parental instincts kicked in, and without a second thought for their own safety, they jumped into the septic tank in a desperate attempt to save their daughter. Sadly, however, the toxic fumes proved too much, and they too fainted, joining their daughter in the dreadful pit. The commotion...
Holy fucking shit. No pun intended, my brothers and sisters. I did not know, man, that the smell, and it makes sense, but the smell of pee and boo-boo could knock your lights out, could make you faint if you inhaling enough of it at one time. I never thought about that, but it do make sense. Wow, can you imagine that? Can you imagine being in their place? Ugh!
of this attracted Wang's sons, who rushed to the septic tank. As Wang's 3 sons stood by the top of the septic tank, 2 out of the 3, driven by the same family bond, risked their lives and entered the septic tank in another desperate attempt to save their family. They submerged themselves into the chest-deep pig feces and urine, battling the overwhelming stench and the nauseating sight. Despite their best efforts, they were unable to lift their family members out of the tank, and they too succumbed to the fumes themselves. The now sole surviving son, completely paralyzed by the unfolding catastrophe, called for a close family friend for help who lived on a neighboring farm. He too rushed over. He entered the septic tank and tried to help the others. And you won't believe it, he fainted too, sealing his fate. 6 people now lie unconscious, an absolutely nightmarish scene. Realizing he was way above his head, Wang's son then made the wise decision to call emergency services and wait for help. Upon arrival, the ambulances retrieved the family from the tank, but by then it was far too late. They had all drowned in the poo. The son was left to grapple with the unimaginable loss, comforted by the police officers as he tried to process the tragedy, pictured here. This incident serves as a grim reminder of the dangers of misusing septic tanks. The local government officials expressed their condolences and pledged to educate the villagers about safe practices with septic tanks. This was a heartbreaking story and one that shattered an entire family, leaving one man to run a whole farm. It's truly a testament to the lengths that we'll go to protect loved ones. And if it was my family in there, my brother in there, I'd do the exact same.
Yeah.
But that is the end of this video. As always, I'm interested in hearing all your thoughts below. The trapped in the car honestly is just a nightmare scenario, and the fact that the pull cord was right next to his foot, it just makes you wonder if only he had found the page. There's so many ifs and so many buts. As well as the man in India who had the compressed air up his bottom. When I watched the video, it didn't look like anything. But then when I read the damage that it caused, it just kind of blew my mind, to be honest. Oh, and the sauna, that's a total nightmare. But just before I go, if you're into true horror list style content such as this, be sure to smash that subscribe button and smash that notification bell to be alerted when I release content such as this. But I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
Man, my brothers and sisters, it's like Ryan getting better. Like, he always been great, but like you can just tell, like his content, like you can just tell he in his bag, man. He in his bag, and he really like starting to get his own image as far as like what he put out. He's starting to stand out from the crowd of like true crime, horror, dark, deep, and mysterious. What is going on type of YouTubers, man. This was a great video from Tragedy Tales, y'all. And just talking about the last one first, firstly, since the last one we watched. Man, I'm not playing, y'all. I'm serious. I never thought of the fact that inhaling human waste, not even human, that was pig waste, animal waste, inhaling pee and boo boo can actually knock you out. I never thought about that, man. Like make you completely faint. And I know they didn't actually die from the fumes of that. They really died because they end up drowning, you know what I'm saying, from being, or suffocating or whatever, from being like under the pee and boo boo. But man, that is crazy, y'all. And that, he'll never forget that. And like Ryan said too, if it was me and my family, I see my mama and daddy down there, my sister and brother, hell yeah, I'm gonna go down there, bro. I'm gonna try to get them, like point blank, period. That is just crazy, man. All of them was crazy though, y'all. The man getting locked in the Corvette. I'm like, oh my God, Corvette, what are y'all doing, bro? Put some fucking door handles on y'all vehicles, man. Fuck them latches. Get rid of the latches and put the latches right here where they supposed to be, man. That one was crazy, y'all. The people who died in the hotel room, the older elderly couple, rest in peace to them, with the carbon monoxide. Like, man, Tragedy Tale did it once again, my brothers and sisters. But I digress, man. We have been here long enough. I appreciate y'all coming on back. Y'all make sure y'all come on back tomorrow because Jose Ortiz from Evil Intentions has dropped a new video. So we gotta go check that out next. Then the weekend coming up. So you know we're going to AJ from the White Files and then Mr. Ballin. Hey, we don't stop over here, man. We keep going. Y'all just make sure y'all hit that like button. Y'all comment, subscribe, and do all that. And I'm gonna say this. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.